In the last few years, we've grown our company from 9 million to 12 million to 16 million to 23 million. And in 2025, we're on track for about 35 to 37 million. Next year, I think we're going to do a lot more than that, but time will tell. So anyways, we're growing really, really fast. And our two biggest companies, Elkhorn Painting and Foothills Painting, will both do $8 to $9 million in sales this year. In this video, I'm just going to pull back the curtain and I just want to share with you exactly how we're growing and scaling our company through partnerships and how we work with partners, because someday you may be a partner of ours. So let's dive in. All right, so there's 5 things that we're gonna go through. One is I'm gonna walk you through like the big picture process, what it looks like when we partner with people. I'm gonna go through like our core model and how we think about growing companies, what we call growth cycles, sprints, and then how we're bringing on partners through Painting Business Pro. So the first thing is just this big picture process. So basically, we only wanna partner with people that we already know and we already work with. And so we have opportunities for our Painting Business Pro members to attend an intro webinar. So we do these usually just once a year, maybe twice a year. We're just gonna basically lay out, this is what it means to partner with us, this is what it looks like. If you're interested, then you can apply. And so then people apply to work with us. Most of these people we already know. We even invite certain people we like onto these webinars. After people apply, then we get into what we call our alignment conversations. This is just really detailed conversations, seeing if we're aligned. Here's where we're trying to go. Are you trying to go there? Do we align on values? Do we align on just like all the little nuances? So these are conversations sometimes go quick. Sometimes there's a lot of back and forth because we want to make sure that like we're totally aligned with the people that we're going to partner with. It's like a marriage. So we call them alignment conversations. Once we decide, hey, we want to work with you, and they say we want to work with you, then what we do next is we just make an offer. And so this is where we value the company and we say, this is how much the company's worth and this is how much we want to buy and for how much money, etc. Then we go back and forth until we accept and align on an offer. And then we do all the basic like due diligence stuff to make sure that you don't have any dead bodies. And then we sign agreements. And then once we've signed agreements, then we do the kickoff. And this is where we actually bring people out to Colorado and we bring it out for 3 or 4 days and we just like get to work. And we do a ton of implementation, launch a bunch of stuff. It's a ton of fun. And we do that with usually big groups of people. So this is what the overall process looks like. And then we get into like, once the kickoff happens, then we're just letting like our flywheel of how we continue to help and grow companies, which is what we're going to talk about in the rest of the video. So I want to share with you our model. So one way that you can think about growing a business is that there's 3 aspects that apply to every business. So the first thing is logistics. So logistics includes, I think, 3 things. So one is going to be HR and legal. The second one is going to be money stuff. All right, so that's finance, accounting, financial integrity. And then the third is going to be tech and CRM. And so for all businesses, every business, these things matter to. There's 3 things that every business is concerned with. The first is logistics. So every business has logistics, and we include HR and legal, money, finance, accounting, and then tech and CRM. These are the 3 things that make up the logistics, and every company has to worry about these things. So you might just be doing nothing about them, but if you're really building something great, you need to have good HR stuff in place so that one employee can't take you down. We had like an employee that was with us for 8 years, who we loved, was really great. And then things happened. All right. And we were at risk of like some really big consequences if she decided to get really nasty. And that was like a wake up to us where I was like, dude, if you build something great, you need to protect it. And all the really successful finance people around like entrepreneurial wealth, one of the most important things they talk about is how to protect your wealth. And so HR is really important. Those systems need to get built. Legal is really important to make sure you're like dotting your I's, crossing your T's, protecting yourself, that you're not exposing yourself. And this in this whole domain includes like insurance, workers' comp, insurance policies on vehicles, like what you can do with company vehicles, what you can't, how you monitor things, how you build your employment agreements. Like there's a lot of stuff in this that we've been sinking our teeth into. The next thing is finance and accounting. What we noticed when we were like a $5 million a year business was how complicated money became. When all the money isn't flowing through you anymore and the business is so big that some customers are doing a smaller down payment, some customers are being invoiced later, not all the money is going through your hands. And even if it is, like auditing it, like there's so much money there. Like if you have like a couple things that go missing, it's like infuriating. So what happened for us was like 2 summers in a row, we were looking at our account. We're like, we feel like we should have a lot more money than this. This is what our overhead is. This is how much we're producing. This is our margin. Like we feel like we should have $50,000 more in our account than we do right now. And we would sit down for literally like 30 hours with me and my partners and try to go through every single payment, every single client, like where is the money? And it became a really big problem. And So now we spent a couple years building out like our financial system so that every single week, every single penny is audited from our master business plan to our CRM and to our QuickBooks. So we literally know if a payment from a customer is off by 14 cents, if a subcontractor got underpaid, overpaid, that jobs didn't cancel, deposits got collected, balances got collected, that we're literally auditing our whole financial system every single week to the penny. And that we're also doing that with marketing. So we know every single dollar spent on marketing, the leads, the estimates, the jobs sold, the ROI, so we can actually make good decisions in the business. Solving this financial thing in the business was really challenging, and now we're starting to implement some AI stuff as well to tighten that up so that it's not just world-class, but it's efficient. And the last thing is tech and CRM, which applies a little bit to what I just said. Tech and CRM is pretty self-explanatory. Our experience is that in the painting industry, no CRM is built to support the size of company that we built. And this was a really hard problem to solve. So we spent about $250,000 the last 3 or 4 years building out our Salesforce instance to be spectacular. These are 3 things you've got to do in a business. Really time consuming, huge pain in the butt. We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and a ton of time getting these 3 things built. All right, the next part of the triangle is we have system development. And every business system development matters. This is building your playbooks, building your systems, and there's 3 aspects to building systems in a business. 1, you need to learn, right? If you don't know how to do something, you can't build a playbook for it. The second thing you've got to do is build it. That means actually like writing the playbook itself. And then the third is you need to optimize it. And one of the illusions that I fell under was years ago when I was like, man, as soon as we get this business to 5 million, then like I can relax, like then I'm done. And the reality is that the bigger the business gets, the more systems you need to build. And if you're a good business, you see opportunities to improve all these systems all the time. And so the bigger the business gets, the more daunting this task becomes. There's so much to create. You know, at our level, it's like, we got to start creating coaching playbooks. Like, how do you coach? How do you develop leaders? All these different sprints. The bigger it gets, now we've got commercial, and then we've got this. And anyways, the point is that this is a huge undertaking for every business owner. You've got to be able to learn what you need to learn, build the thing, optimize the thing. And I can just tell you, as a company that's got like a lot of leverage, we've got a lot of really smart people, a lot of leaders, a lot of very qualified people to build these playbooks. We feel like this is where we have so much room to improve, which is really cool because we have a pretty great business right now, and there's so much work to do there. The third part of building a business is going to be team. So this is going to be building your team. There's 3 things to building your team. First, we got to recruit, then we got to train, and then we got to develop leaders. Fundamentally, we could say the logistics is like the foundation for the whole business. We need all these things in place to protect the whole business and make sure it's all tight and running well. Then we have system development. We've got to learn, build, and optimize all the playbooks and never stop doing that. But then the team is the one that actually executes on the playbooks, executes on logistics. There's 3 parts to building a team. All right, so then the third part of the triangle is team. So we got to recruit, train, and then build leaders. Recruiting is pretty nuanced. One of the most important parts to recruiting great people is you've got to have a great offer. And that's one of the things that we've gotten really dialed, because part of a great offer for team members, I've got this awesome training and development program where I can invest in you. There's future career opportunities. You can make a ton of money. We've got awesome onboarding. We have all this support. So we got to recruit great people, and then we've got to train those people to be really effective. And then we need to develop people into leaders, because if you don't have leaders, then you're fundamentally capped at like 6 to 9 direct reports before things start to break, and you're limited with how much you can grow the business, and you can never exit, etc. So if we look at this as our whole model, the way that we work with our partners is we're like, hey, this logistics thing, you don't need to worry about it. We've literally already built out legal, HR. We're going to be on top of all of that. You're good. Hey, the money stuff, the financial tracking, the auditing, everything being dotted, I's dotted, T's crossed, everything tracked to the penny on marketing, on paychecks, on everything. Yeah, we've already built that. That's done. We're just going to get you plugged into that system. Tech, CRM, yep, don't need to do that either. We spent the last 4 years. We've built it out. We're just going to install that into your business so that everything is tight. All right, so then we go to system development. Yeah, you don't need to worry about that either. We're miles ahead of anybody we partner with. Like I said, Foothills and Elkhorn, both $8 to $9 million in sales. We've literally got we're solving problems and challenges way ahead. So the road is already paved by the time you get there. And by the time you get to 8 or 9 million a year, we're going to be at 15 to 20. And so we're the ones learning. We're the ones building systems. We're the ones optimizing systems. Now, our partners can contribute. You say, hey, I want this system better, or there's a partner who just did something that was amazing. We're going to document that. But this is no longer the accountability of our partners. So we basically take this off people's plate and this off people's plate. We say, this is really your job as our business partners. You're really the one leading and managing the team, but we're going to supercharge you on all this stuff. well, first, we have a better offer because you're part of our organization. This is a big entity. And so we have a lot of things that we can offer potential employees that you can't offer without us. And so we're going to help you with recruiting with a better offer, but then we're going to literally like screen people with you, because we've done this a lot of times. Like, we don't miss on hires very often anymore because we've done it so many times. We've gotten really good at it. So we're going to do the recruiting with our partners one-to-one and train you on it at the same time. So eventually you're as good as we are. We're going to help you with training. Right? We have system-wide sprints. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but we support you with training your people, the onboarding process, holding your hand, making sure people get onboarded the right way. And then we help you develop leaders, again, with our training development programs, which I'll talk about in a bit. So this is what we do with our partners. We take this off the plate. We take this off the plate. So fundamentally what you're doing is building the team, and we're going to pour into you, train you, develop you, work with your team to help you scale the business. So that's our model. All right, then we go to our growth cycles. So growth cycles, pretty simple. This is basically like how we grow the business. So we just have these growth cycles, and right now we have 23 of them. All right, so examples of a growth cycle is, we have a few in marketing. Marketing, we say like, get to 8 estimates a week. That's a growth cycle. All right, get to 12 estimates a week. That's a growth cycle. All right, get to 20 estimates a week. And so we've got all these different kind of tiers that the business naturally needs to get to. And these are just like marketing growth cycles. All right. And then we also have like recruit project manager. That's a growth cycle. And so the way that we think about this business is, your business does not grow based on how long you're in business. So if this is the business's growth, this bottom is not a timeline. So this is revenue over here, but down here, this is number of growth cycles completed. So if you're in business for 20 years, but you don't get through any growth cycles, the business doesn't grow. But if you're in business for 2 years and you get through 20 of them, you're here, right? So the game is, how quickly do we get through, this is the next thing, solve it, get next thing, solve it, next thing, solve it. So a quick example of this is like, with a couple of our partners this year, they needed a project manager. The second they hired their project manager, started onboarding, we're like, cool, the next bottleneck is you need to hire a salesperson. We placed the ads that day and started hiring the salesperson. And so we can really shorten timelines and move way faster when we're doing things one-to-one with people. So we just go from one growth cycle to the next, to the next, to the next, and stack those. And all of our growth cycles, we do all these one-to-one. Plus we also have our sprints, which I'll talk about in a minute, but this is where we really get involved with our partners to help these companies scale. Then we have something called sprints. We have 2 kinds of sprints. So we have training and we have development. So training is role specific, meaning, sales rep, project manager, office manager, marketing. We have some business owner sprints. This is role specific. So when you bring on a new sales rep, they're going to go through the sales training sprint, where we're the ones training a whole bunch of sales reps on group calls to support your training as well. So there's alignment, there's some extra energy behind all that. So we've got these training sprints happening all the time. So anytime a new sales rep comes on, anytime a new project manager, anytime a new office manager, like, we're running system-wide sprints with me, my partners, like the subject matter experts in our company, to train the new people and to work with them and work with our partners. Development is more like character. All right, so these are not role specific. It's character, it's leadership development, it's self-mastery. This is actually where I'm like really, really good. We're always running probably 2 to 3 development sprints at a time, so that people who are brand new, they go through the foundation sprints. So it's like 6 months of like leadership development, character development, and values alignment with new employees. This is a huge value add to everybody who works here, but it's also what makes our people like crush. And so we're always running these sprints, which is basically like an hour call every week. And then there's assignments, and then we're working with people and doing like, it's like a massive personal development program baked into the company. Plus we also do events. All right, so it's these calls, but then we do 2 leadership development events per year. People come into that event who are partners and leaders we're grooming at companies. It's an in-person 2.5-day leadership development event we do twice a year with our partners. So we've always got these sprints going on, and then we're always working directly one-on-one with partners through growth cycles. So the last thing we can get to here is just how we actually partner with people. So basically what we do is we work with people at Painting Business Pro, and we work with you for a while. We install a lot of our systems, our playbooks, our values, some of this stuff that's here. We're getting you some momentum on that. And we're also like, you're getting to know us and how we roll. We're getting to know you, how you roll. Then you come to a couple events. We get to know you a little bit more in person. This is only available to people in our mastery program. But 1 to 2 times a year in our mastery program, we say, hey, we're doing an introduction to the partnership. If you're interested, let us know. And then we go up here and you get invited to the intro call. And then we just go through from there. So for us, we love the companies we run and we love the partners we work with. We would be totally okay if we never brought on another partner ever. We love the companies we're doing. We love who we're doing it with. And we're like, we just want to do what we love to do. So we're not trying to get some number. We just want to partner with the right people who are values aligned, our future and goals are aligned, how we want to work together is aligned, that we just like people we really love to work with. And so if none of those people come around, we're okay. And if it's 200 people, we're ready for that too. So this is fundamentally what we're doing. And so if you want to start plugging into a lot of the systems we literally use to scale our companies, that's Painting Business Pro. And Painting Business Pro is not designed to grow your company past a few $1 million a year. You're going to start running into issues here. I mean, training, recruiting. I mean, all of these things are going to start to become issues. Painting Business Pro will get you to $3 million a year. We're confident in that. And we have a bunch of people who have done it. But there's some really big challenges going from 3 million to 10. And those are the challenges that we've solved. And that's what we want to do with people through National Painting Group, is partner with you to grow faster. And I will say, we partner with a lot of people who are $500,000 to $1 million a year. You don't need to get to 3 million before we partner. We'll see how it goes. The most important thing to us is that we are partnered with people that we love, that we're values aligned with, that it's just a perfect fit. Because we're in this for the long game, and we want to work with people who are in this for the long game to create an extraordinary business, to create an extraordinary life, to make a difference for people. And so that's what we're all about. So anyways, if you are interested in this, the place to start is join us at Painting Business Pro. We'll help you grow and scale your business. And then maybe one day we'll actually work together as partners.